I don't know why I agreed to join the raid. I'm not even a fighter. My job, if you can even call it that, is to heal. To patch people up when the real hunters get into trouble. But when my guild leader, Nakamura-san, looked me in the eye and said that he needed me, I couldn't say no. After all, it was supposed to be an easy E-rank dungeon. Easy. That word keeps echoing in my mind as I look at the flickering torches on the crumbling stone walls around us. There's something ancient about this place. Something wrong. The air feels heavy, and every step we take deeper into the dungeon sends chills down my spine. The others don't seem to notice it. Nakamura-san leads confidently, his dull swords gleaming in the dim light. Behind him are Shiori, Akaki Fire Mage, and Takeshi, our shield bearer, who keeps cracking bad jokes to lighten the mood. Bringing up the rear is me, holding a staff I barely know how to use. When I reached the first chamber, everything seemed normal. Skeleton warriors, slow, brittle, and easy to take down. For a moment, I let my guard down, thinking maybe Nakamura-san was right. Maybe this would just be easy. Then we found the door. It wasn't on the map. A massive black door carved with intricate writhing patterns, like snakes swallowing themselves. It didn't look like something that belonged in an E-rank dungeon. Nakamura stared at it, his jaw tight. "We'll clear it," he said finally. "No risk, no reward." We should have left. The room beyond the door was massive, far bigger than anything we'd seen before. Black pillars stretched into a ceiling so high it disappeared into darkness. The air was colder here, sharper, and carried a faint metallic smell that I couldn't place. In the center of the room stood an altar. On it lay a shattered stone tablet, the pieces glowing faintly red. Nakamura approached it cautiously, his swords drawn, while the rest of us hung back. That's when the torches lining the walls went out. At first, I thought it was just the wind, but then I saw them. Eyes. Dozens of glowing red eyes appearing in the dark, circling us like predators. My breath caught in my throat as a low, guttural growl echoed through the chamber. The first creature stepped into the faint glow of the altar's light. It was tall and humanoid, but its body was twisted, covered in jagged black spines. Its mouth stretched impossibly wide, revealing rows of needle-like teeth. "Formation!" Nakamura shouted, but his voice shook. Before we could react, the creatures attacked. The fight was chaos. They moved faster than anything I'd ever seen. Nakamura's swords clashed against their claws, sparks flying with every strike. Shiori hurled fireballs, the flames briefly lighting up the room, but for every one we hit, two more seemed to appear. One of them lunged at me. I barely raised my staff in time. The creature's claws scraping against the wood. My heart pounded as I muttered the incantation for a healing spell, but my hands were shaking too much to focus. Takeshi's shield splintered as a creature slammed into him, sending him flying across the room. Shiori screamed as one of them grabbed her, dragging her into the shadows. I'll never forget the sound of her screams being cut off, like the dungeon itself had swallowed her whole. "Yuta!" Nakamura yelled. He was bleeding, his armor shredded, but he still stood. "The altar! Destroy the altar!" I turned to the shattered tablet, its red glow now pulsating like a heartbeat. My legs felt like lead, but I forced myself to move, dodging and weaving through the chaos. The creatures seemed to sense what I was doing. They turned on me, their snarls filling my ears as they closed in. I swung my staff wildly, praying to the gods that I didn't believe in. One of them slashed my arm, the pain blinding, but I had to keep moving. I reached the altar. Raising my staff, I brought it down on the glowing shards with all the strength I had left. The moment the staff connected, the world exploded. A deafening roar filled the chamber as a shockwave of energy rippled out from the altar, throwing me to the ground. The creatures screamed, their bodies disintegrating into ash, but the victory was short-lived. The floor beneath the altar cracked, then shattered entirely, revealing a gaping void. A hand, no, a claw emerged from the darkness. It was massive, its blackened skin covered in glowing red runes, and it gripped the edge of the void with inhuman strength. From the darkness came a voice, deep, resonant, and ancient. You have awakened me. Nakamura grabbed my arm, pulling me to my feet. His face was pale, his eyes wide with fear. Run, he whispered. We fled, sprinting back to the dungeon as the ground shook beneath us. The walls began to crumble, the ceiling collapsing in chunks. Behind us, I could hear the thing climbing out of the void, its laughter echoing in the darkness. I didn't realize I was crying until we made it to the dungeon entrance. Nakamura stayed behind, covering our escape. I don't know how long I waited outside, screaming his name into the night, but he never came out. The guild called it a failure. The dungeon collapse made it impossible to confirm what had happened, but they refused to take responsibility. E rank. That's all they said, like it explained everything. I quit the guild, moved to Osaka, tried to start over. But 2 days ago, I found a note under my door. The gate at Takashi Station is open again. The nightmares came back the night I got that note. I dreamt of the black door, of those red eyes staring at me from the darkness. Only this time, I wasn't running. This time, I was trapped, standing before the altar, unable to move as the claw emerged from the void. And then the voice came again, deep and mocking. You cannot escape your fate, Yuta. You are mine. I woke up drenched in sweat, the words still echoing in my mind. The note was sitting on my bedside table, even though I could have sworn I left it in the kitchen. I burned it, watching the flames consume the paper, hoping it would put an end to all of this. But the next morning, there it was again, pristine and untouched, lying on my pillow. I don't know what to do. Every time I try to leave, the gate pulls me back. I hear it in the back of my mind, a low hum that grows louder the farther I go. It's not just the gate, it's the thing inside. It's waiting for me. I haven't slept in days, haven't eaten. The walls of my apartment feel like they're closing in. I see shadows moving where they shouldn't, red eyes glinting in the dark corners of the room. The dungeon isn't just a place anymore. It's here, with me, consuming my thoughts, my life. And I know that if I don't go back, it'll come for me. So, I made my decision. Tonight, I'm going back to Takashi Station. I don't know if I'll come out alive this time, but I have to try. Because the alternative is worse. The night air bites at my skin as I stand at the edge of the station. Takashi Station was abandoned years ago, but the gate's energy has brought an eerie life back to the place. Dim, flickering lights hum weakly overhead, and the sound of distant whispers carries through the air, though I don't see anyone around. The note in my pocket feels heavier than it should, as if it's pulling me forward. My feet move on their own, like a puppet on strings. With every step toward the gate, the weight in my chest grows, and my pulse beats louder in my ears. When I reach the train platform, it's waiting for me. The black door. It's different this time. Larger, pulsating like a living thing. The writhing patterns seem to shift and twist as I watch, and I swear I can hear the faint screams woven into the hum of its energy. The note crumbles to ash in my pocket as I step closer. The door knows I'm here. It's been waiting. I don't even remember opening the door. One moment, I'm on the platform, and the next, I'm inside the dungeon again. But this isn't the same dungeon. The walls are darker, almost liquid in appearance, and the torches lining the hallways burn with an unnatural green flame. The air is thick and suffocating, filled with a coppery tang that coats my tongue. My staff is in my hand, though I don't remember picking it up. The faint glow from its tip does little to pierce the oppressive darkness, but I keep moving on. I don't have a choice. The whispers start as I pass the first corridor. Faint, indistinct, but undeniably human. I strain to make out the words, but the moment I try to focus, they fade into laughter. Cold, mocking laughter that echoes all around me. Then I hear it. Yuta. The voice is unmistakable. Nakamura-san. I spin around, my heart racing. He's standing there, just a few feet behind me, his face pale and drawn. His armor's gone, replaced by ragged, blood-stained clothes. And his eyes, they're wrong. Empty. Lifeless. You left me, he says, his voice barely above a whisper. I try to speak, to explain, but the words catch in my throat. My hands tremble as he takes a step closer. His movements are jerky and unnatural. You left us, he says again, louder this time. His voice echoes unnaturally, overlapping with itself. Suddenly, the shadows behind him shift, and more figures emerge. Shiori, Takeshi, others I don't even recognize, but their faces are twisted with the same hollow, accusing stares. You let us die, they chant in unison. You let it out. I stumble back, shaking my head. No, I didn't have a choice. I didn't. The words die in my throat as Nakamura lunges toward me, his face contorting into something monstrous. His jaw stretches wide, too wide, revealing rows of jagged teeth. The others follow, their bodies breaking and twisting as they charge. I ran. The dungeon shifts around me, the corridors bending and warping as if alive. No matter how far I go, I can still hear their voices, their footsteps closing in. The green flames flicker wildly, casting distorted shadows that seem to reach for me. I don't know how long I run before I find the altar again. It's worse than I remember. The void beneath it has grown, spilling out tendrils of black smoke that writhe and coil like living things. The claw's still there, but now it's joined by another, and another. The thing is pulling itself out, its massive form barely contained by the rift. The voice comes again, deeper and more resonant than before. Welcome back, Yuta. I drop to my knees, my strength gone. The air around the altar vibrates with a dark energy that feels like it's tearing me apart from the inside. I can't breathe. I can't think. Why me? I manage. The thing laughs, a sound that shakes the very ground beneath me. You are the key. The words are like daggers in my mind, images flashing before my eyes, visions of the dungeon, of the gate at Takashi Station, of countless other gates around the world. I see the thing's true form, vast and incomprehensible, spreading its influence like roots through the earth. It doesn't want to escape. It already has. The gates are spreading, and with every one that opens, its power grows. I was never meant to stop it. I was meant to serve it. You're lying, I whisper, though the words feel hollow. Am I? The thing replies, its voice dripping with mockery. The figure appears again, stepping out of the shadows around the altar. Nakamura, Shiori, Takeshi. Their faces are twisted with pain and rage, their bodies still bearing the wounds of their deaths. But there's something else in their eyes. Something wrong. They're not just angry. They're hungry. Join us, Nakamura says, his voice softer now, almost gentle. It's easier if you don't fight. I shake my head, stumbling back. No, I can't. You don't have a choice, Shiori says, her smile revealing far too many teeth. The thing laughs again, and the altar pulses with a blinding red light. The ground beneath me cracks, and I feel myself being pulled toward the void. The figures close in, and their hands reach for me, their voices blending with the thing's laughter. And then I see it, on the altar. The staff. My staff. I don't know where the strength comes from, but I lunge for it, grabbing the staff with both hands. The moment I touch it, the red light intensifies, and the thing's laughter turns to a deafening roar. You cannot defy me, it bellows. The staff pulses with a light of its own, bright and pure, cutting through the darkness. I raise it high, focusing every ounce of my will into a single strike. When it connects with the altar, the world shatters. I wake up outside Takashi Station. The black door is gone, replaced by a jagged crater in the platform. The air is still and quiet, but it doesn't feel quite right. The weight on my chest is gone, but something deeper lingers, an emptiness, like a piece of me was left behind. I stagger to my feet, my body aching. My staff is gone, and my hands are covered in ash. The note is back in my pocket. This is only the beginning. I don't know how much time I have, but I can feel it. This thing isn't gone. It's waiting, watching, and it's growing stronger. And I know that one day I'll have to face it. The note burns against my thigh as I stumble away from the station. My mind's a storm of conflicting emotions, relief, Guilt and that gnawing dread that this isn't truly over. I keep moving, unsure of where I'm going. My legs are weak. My body's trembling from the strain of whatever just happened. The streets are eerily empty, the city's usual hum of life replaced by an oppressive silence. Then, I hear it. The hum. It starts low, almost imperceptible, but it quickly grows, filling the air with its sinister vibration. I turn, my heart hammering in my chest, and my blood runs cold. The black door is back, but it's no longer confined to Takashi Station. It rises in the middle of the street, impossibly large, its surface writhing with that same serpentine pattern. The air around it shimmers, distorting reality itself, and this time, it's not alone. The sky above fractures, jagged cracks spreading like lightning. Through them, I see it, an endless void, pulsing with a faint red glow. The cracks widen, and from them spills tendrils of darkness, writhing like living things as they descend toward the earth. I can feel it now, more clearly than ever. The thing I fought in that dungeon, it's not just a creature, it's a force, a will, and it's using the gates to anchor itself to our world. A voice comes from the void, shaking the very ground beneath me. You cannot run, Yuta. You are mine. The black door bursts open, and from it emerges a monstrous form. It's larger than anything I've ever seen, its body twisting and shifting as if it's made of shadows. Its glowing red eyes lock onto me, and I feel my knees buckle under the weight of its gaze. I try to move, but the air itself feels heavy, pressing down on me. The tendrils from the sky are converging on the door, feeding the creature, making it stronger. And then, I hear another voice. Yuta, get up. It's Nakamura. I turn and there he is, standing just a few feet away. But he's different. His armor is restored, glowing faintly with a golden light. His face is calm, and his eyes burn with a fire I've never seen before. Get up, he says again, his voice firm. This isn't over. I don't know if he's real, a ghost, or just a hallucination brought on by my terror, but his presence fills me with a strange sense of hope. How? I manage to choke out. How do I stop it? He doesn't answer. Instead, he points to my staff lying on the ground a few feet away. Its wood is scorched, but it glows faintly, pulsing in time with the cracks in the sky. You already know, he says. The creature roars and the ground splits beneath us. Black tendrils lash out, tearing through the building around us like paper. I dive for the staff, grabbing it just as a tendril slams into the ground where I was standing. The moment my fingers wrap around the staff, a surge of energy shoots through me. The glow intensifies, and I feel the weight pressing down on me begin to lift. The creature snarls, its form twisting and growing as if it senses a change. You cannot stop me, Yuta. Your world is already mine. I stagger to my feet, gripping the staff tightly. The energy coursing through it feels wild, untamed, but somehow I know what I need to do. Nakamura, I say, turning to him. If this doesn't work, it will, he interrupts, his voice steady. You're stronger than you think. I step forward, facing the creature as the cracks in the sky widen. The staff hums in my hands, its light growing brighter with each step. The creature lets out a deafening roar, and the tendrils converge on me, lashing out like whips. But the staff seems to move on its own, deflecting the attacks with bursts of golden light. The creature shrieks in fury, its form rippling as it lashes out with everything it has. The force of its attacks sends shockwaves through the air, but I keep moving, each step bringing me closer to the black door. The staff's glow reaches its peak as I reach the door. I raise it high, feeling the energy within it build in almost unbearable intensity. This ends now, I shout, bringing the staff down with all my strength. The world erupts in light. The staff connects with the door, and a blinding explosion of golden energy bursts forth, tearing through the creature and the tendrils. The cracks in the sky begin to close, the void shrinking as the light consumes everything. The creature lets out one final ear-splitting roar as its form disintegrates, its red eyes fading into nothingness. The door shatters, its pieces dissolving into dust that scatters on the wind. And then, silence. I wake up on the ground, the faint glow of dawn breaking over the horizon. The black door is gone, and the cracks in the sky have vanished. The city is still. the destruction from the battle erased as if it had never happened. But I know it's not over. The staff lies beside me, its once bright glow now reduced to a faint flicker. I pick it up, feeling its weight in my hands. Nakamura is gone. I look around, half expecting to see him, but the street is empty. His words echo in my mind. You're stronger than you think. I don't know what comes next. I don't know how many gates are still out there, or how much time we have before the thing tries again. But I do know one thing. This fight isn't over. And next time, I'll be ready.